Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is October 8th, 2023. This is episode 582. And it's been a while since I did one of these reviews, but I'm always thinking about you guys, and it's just been super busy. In fact, Studio B had a transient in it for about 6 weeks, and she finally moved on, so I've got my space back to do this. We're still building a house, and the stucco went on this last week, and the drywall's all done inside. Still going to be like 6 more months before it's finished, but it's coming along. Anyway, we're going to look at the Rocketeer. This is a one-off, and I believe it's written by Danny Bilson. It is IDW, and it's a recommend. I've got a lot of back issues I have not caught up with, but I can guarantee you that these are all from 2023. It's just I've been very far behind, and I don't think I have any number ones to start either. Now, I went back in on World Tree 33, that's the James Tynion 4 horror series, and looked at some of the issues that came out. That was not recommended by me a couple months ago for issue 1 that we went through, and I kind of thumbed through the last 5 issues. And I stand by that. I can't recommend that. It seems like it was just a quick idea he had, and he really didn't flesh it out that well. And the main draw is it's got a beautiful woman that walks around naked most of the time. That's mysterious, and that's pretty much it. And she's got an evil twin, or she is the evil twin of another one. So, spoiler alert, sorry about that, but yeah, I found it was a little bit weak. Anyway, The Rocketeer, it's just another spin-off story, and I believe it's supposed to be Betty Page inserted in this story with our Rocketeer character. Now, the art in it is really good. I do have a little concerns about it, but I'll mention that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. This cover is an Adam Hughes cover. It was cover A. There's a number of other covers, and we'll take a look at those as well. Looking to see who had worked on this. Like I said, it was Danny Bilson. The art is by Adam Hughes. This is for cover A. And the lettered by Karen L. Bates. And there's a second story in here. It's actually got 3 stories. It's a one-off. It is written by Kevin Mao. The art is by Craig Cermak, and the colors are by Laura Martin, with Karen Bates also doing the lettering. And finally, we have the third story written by Robert Wyndham. Art is by Jay Lee. Colors are by June Chung, and the lettering's by Crank. Now we'll take a quick look at here. We'll go into more depths of the other covers. They'll come up in bigger pictures, but you can see there was a nice assortment of covers on this one. It is an IDW. They have not been doing very well, but this comic is good. I don't know how well it did. It sales well, but it revolves around the mystery of Amelia Earhart. And Betty Page is pretty pissed at Cliff Secor, who's the Rocketeer, and the name of this story is In Amelia. Actually, just Amelia. And we get a lot of nice 30s Art Deco type quiche things in here, just really showing the life of what it was like, probably Southern California, I'm guessing. And Betty Page is always mad at Mr. Secor, though, throughout this whole story. He's always seems like he's getting in trouble. He's just doing much, and she suspects he's seeing another woman named Amelia, not realizing it's Amelia Earhart. So part of this is the search for Amelia Earhart, and we get a little backstory and everything else. But the art is really good. There's a little, my only concern is it is a little heavy on the outlining of everything. There's just this really dark line going around the outside. I don't think you really need it to be so sharp. Look at it in this one. It is really just thick. That is a thick outside line. Is that really necessary? Not in this case. I do not think so. But that's just me. But you can see that the art is good throughout. This is, I believe this is Adam Hughes drawing all the way through on this. And he does some pretty fine drawing. You can see there's Amelia Earhart. So the Rocketeer, apparently his idol as a child growing up was Amelia Earhart. And we get the funny thing, the dog driving the car and everything else. But Betty's always, and I believe it's supposed to be Betty Page, don't quote me on that, but she's always suspecting he's up to something because he's always late when they're supposed to have a date or something like that. Something's always happening to him. In the meantime, there's some gangsters that he suspects are up to no good. The whole thing just kind of keeps going on and on. She keeps suspecting these bad men, and then we see a guy that looks kind of like Harrison Ford or something that she's kind of like attracted to and seems to be paying her a little bit of attention as well. And anyway, there's while this speech is going on, this seminar, this lecture about some tribe in Africa, this gang is going to steal this priceless artifact. But the Rocketeer steps in time. Everybody's kind of running around, knocks over Betty. And you get these, let's scram, boys. This dame's our ticket out. So they're going to kidnap Betty and take her along. Then they shove her away at the last minute. And the Rocketeer shows up and kind of destroys the museum a little bit. It's just a fun story, but I recommend it. It's a nice comic, just a really, really nice comic. And at the end, you can see that he's frustrated because Betty is kind of following for the lecturer that was this tribe. And that's how this story ends. It was a little confusing because I thought this was part of the same story, but this is the next quick story. And just the art, and it's really nice. I know Jay Lee did one. I'm trying to think of the other person that did the art on this one. But some really neat stuff. Just really fine art on this. So it's a good issue altogether, and then it just kind of ends with this story. And this is like the pinups now we get into. There's Phil Noto did this one. This was actually a cover. Not sure which one. There's another cover by... is it Maria Laura Sanapo? Something like that. It's also good. I mean, all the covers on here are really good. Here's the Adam Hughes again. And you also get the little, is it the GBs? Is that what they were called? The little fast airplanes. That if you saw the Rocketeer movie, you would have seen that in there. Another nice one. This one's the Jay Lee cover. Very nice. And another Adam Hughes without the little airplanes at the bottom. And Gabriel Rodriguez, this cover, which is another nice one. I mean, these are all very nice covers. Sometimes in these variant covers, I don't care for some of them. This case, I liked them all. And then we have Dave Stevens. I believe he was the writer of the first story here. And it kind of talks about him a bit. And I believe he is the creator of Rocketeer. I don't think he actually wrote the first story. It was somebody else. But he's the creator of the Rocketeer. He has passed on. I'll give you a close. If you want to pause and read this, it's a little history of his life. And we have that. And let's move on. And there's a picture dedicated to the endearing memory of Dave Stevens, the creator of Rocketeer. Then it looks like we have an omnibus celebrating 40 years. Looks like it's a hardcover edition coming out from IDW. I thought there was 3 stories in here, but it read more like just 2, so I'm not quite sure what's going on, unless the Amelia Earhart story ended quickly, and then that other one was a second story, although they seem to go together really nicely. All right, so it is a recommend, The Rocketeer, and I apologize. I read this a long time ago. I just never got around to doing the review, but we did it now. So thanks for stopping by and listening to this review of The Rocketeer, a one-shot. As always, please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Leave comments if you wish, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. I'll try to be a little bit better, a little bit more prompt on these. My subscriptions have completely blossomed all the way up to 378, and I'm not quite sure why, because I haven't done a video in a couple months, but like I said, I'll try to be a little bit better about it. Next up, I believe I'm doing Draculina number 3, and we'll have that one out for you shortly. Thank you.